Good morning, traders. It's Trader Rob. Today is Tuesday, September 16th, day 11 of the 50K challenge, which I am versing my mechanical rule-based strategies in oil, gold, the 15-minute Rob reversal against my discretionary style of trading that includes incorporating volume, key levels that I come up with each and every day, and a little sprinkle of the order books in there. First of all, I want to say sorry about the video from yesterday. I even watched it after I posted it, and I was cringed out. It was the charts were lagging so bad. As you guys can see with the background, I'm not at my home office. I am in our place down in Florida, and I thought I had the setup right, but I've pretty much narrowed it down to Bookmap being my biggest issue. It just takes up way too much resources and lags up the screen. So it's not actually a big deal when I'm off camera, but with the recording software, the charts, the order book, a few other tools that I use, just was lagging down the system. So I think I've been able to correct it here with at least not having Bookmap open while I'm doing this video right now. With that being said, let's get into our intro. Right after the intro, I'm going to show you a few setups. We do have futures rollover. I did roll over to the December contract. Open interest jumped dramatically last night, and it's definitely in the favor of the December contract for the ES and the NQ. So let's get into that right after the intro. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so I'm on the ES. We're on the 15-minute, and let's start mapping out some of our levels. Got a level here at the 66.83 that I'm interested in. We've got another level right here that I'm also interested. This one fits really nicely on the volume profile. So right off the bat, I can tell you this one I would be very interested in. We've got another level sitting right at the 66.70 that I'd be interested in. And then we've got a level down here on this big volume node that's going to be sitting right at the 66.50 that I'm interested in. We got a level right here at the 66.57. Could possibly be a take profit area for us. And then this wick here kind of knocks out this level right here. But I actually could maybe incorporate this as a stop loss right there at the 66.42. And then below that, we still have that setup from yesterday that sits at the 65.95. This was an A++ setup yesterday. I'm going to have to see it now with the contract rollover, how the interest shows up there on the order book once we get down there. All right, so now that we've got kind of our key levels that we're looking at for this morning on the 15-minute, now I'll jump down to the 5-minute, and then let's see what we can see. Let's see. Oh, this is the 5-second. There we go, 5-minute. All right, what do we got here? To the downside, not really interested in anything up at the top part yet. Do have a level right smack here at the 66.81, and we also have excuse me, another level right at the 66.79. As far as an entry that I'd be interested in, to be honest with you, this 66.77 area to me looks fantastic. Let me just make this 66. Let's go here. Bump this one up to okay, and then let me dot this one so we can know that this one's an entry. Cool. This could be kind of an easy take profit. You know what, I'm going to move this entry down to this ledge right here. That might be a better move. And then, yeah, that's a great take profit right here. Let's move, change this to green, dotted. Another take profit right here. Yeah, charts are moving so much better. And then let's see if we can find a viable stop loss for us here. I had mentioned really good protection at the 66.70, but that's way too big of a stop. That's about 7 points. Well, it's not terrible. So let me just let me mark this one up here. I'm going to show you guys the two options that I have. Go red, dotted. Okay, and then I can delete this volume band that I'm not going to need anymore. Sorry, these lines might be a little bit on the skinny side. Should probably have made these a little bigger. All right, if we take a look at the volume profile here, let me move this out so we can see a clear map of it. So this would be your ultimate stop loss protection, okay, but again, not the greatest risk to reward because we're risking 7 points here. Now I can obviously make a very strong case for somewhere right around there, which, you know, still gives you this big chunk of volume in between your entry and stop loss, but still provides you with a better risk to reward. So I think I could delete this guy. I'm not interested in him. So we've got this setup already planned out for this morning. Obviously, we've got the one sitting down below us. Actually, 66.50 looks pretty nice, but let me just, where did she go? Oh, yeah, right here. So we've got this set up at the 65.95, possible re-entry at the 65.92. Clear TPs. Let's just take a look really quickly at this little volume pocket right here on the 5 minute, and let's see what we see. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger. Perfect. All right, where are our levels at? Some clear levels. Got one there on the 5 minute. Boom. We've got this strong 15 minute. We've obviously got very high volume node right here at the 66.48. We've got a level right here. Not interested in this level at all. It's on the bottom side of the volume profile. We'd be looking for a long up here, so that wouldn't make any sense. Now this one right here I could definitely use because I've got some, it's my buffer zone for my stop loss. 5 points, I'm okay with that. Now I just got to really hone in on the entry. Got a level right here that broke structure. I like it. Right there. All right, so this would look something like this. We can have, I think I'd rather have this as my entry. 66.50 as an entry. We would do 66.52 as a possible take profit. 1. Possible take profit 2 right here. Just using the levels, combined with volume profile. Nothing super hard about this. And then we've got a stop loss right here. Hopefully you guys can see how pretty damn simple that is. Let me delete this out of here. Not interested in this guy at all. And clean that up. All right, so this yellow line is not something that I drew up. This is obviously something that's drawn up by my indicator from my composite volume profile. So don't worry about too much about that. So what I'd be looking at is an entry off the top side of this high volume node that sits at the 6650. TP1 6652, TP2 6654, stop loss 6645. Now, just because I have the setup here on the screen doesn't necessarily mean that those are going to be my exact entries. Once volume starts to come down to my levels, I will then switch over to the order book, see the live data, where contracts are really starting to stack up, what areas they want to defend, and then I will make some micro tweaks on my entry, possible take profit areas. Stop loss usually doesn't get moved much because this is the area that it would really need to be in to protect my position. All right, and then I know we've got some news coming out this morning. Should be hitting here. Probably just hit right now. So let's see. Let's move this up here a little bit, and then let's jump over to the NQ on the 15-minute. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so we got a smaller volume node. We got a volume node right here that wrong one. Yeah, much better with the charts this morning. Thank goodness. We got a volume node that sits right there. Not interested in that one anymore. Let's get rid of these. Clean up the chart a little bit here. Okay, we got another volume node right here. And then you can make a case for another volume node right here. Yep. All right, that's enough for that. Now let's map out the levels on the 15-minute. Let's expand this out here a little bit. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Well, I'm obviously not really super interested in anything up here. Volume is pretty. We do have a peak right here that coincides pretty nicely with this level right here. Okay, I'll map that one out. Now let's take a look at our really high volume areas. We got a great level right here. You guys can see that 24,269, great area, sitting right on the top part of this volume node. Super interested there. Super interested. And then let's just see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, another one right here. Oh, we got two of them. Oh, we got a nice one right here. Right, smackaroonie right here. 24,197 I like, and then obviously this one right here, which we might have to incorporate as our stop loss, 24,162. Now we jump down to the 5-minute. All right, let's see where price action is at. All right. So first of all, we'll just take a look really quickly. This right off the bat wouldn't be like my A+ setup, just because it's in a much lower volume pocket. I mean, obviously I can make a case for a 5-minute level right there. Yeah, not interested. Let me delete it. Well, I'll keep that one up there just to see what occurs. All right, let's get down to this 24,269 area. Let's see what we can formulate. All right. Well, right off the bat, I can tell you one thing. I like the setup. As you guys can see on the volume profile, we have that exactly descending volume profile that is pushing out to the right, matching up with a key level on the 15-minute at the top part of this volume node. And then our TPs would have to be somewhere around here, and that's all free flowing right back into your TP. That's exactly what you're looking for on this setup. And I can tell you right off the bat, you've got a 5-minute level right there. Easy peasy. That's kind of a big trade there. So I would want to, this would probably be my TP2. Green. Or it could just be a really nice fat win. Because I really can't find anything else. You're going to have a little bit of resistance right smack here. You can see the volume kind of sticking out right there. So I could probably make a case for my TP1 to be right there. Green. Dotted. This would be my entry. Sorry. Dotted. All right, there's my entry. And then let's see if we can find a stop loss. Obviously, I see an area. We've got a level down here. That's way too big. That's way too big. We got a level that kind of got knocked out right there. I mean, just looking at the profile, your level of defense would be right smack right here. And that's about, yeah, I think I like that a lot. Make this one red. Again, you want to make sure that you've got yourself, let's delete this volume band, don't need to look at that anymore. So we've got an entry, and I would say that the entry would need to be right there, right at the top of that ledge at the 24,271.50 area. Easy TP, well, it's a big TP1, but an easy TP1. And that's a big trade. That's 20-something points just a TP1. Right here at the 82 is 11. Now you can see as we come up, we see this little, almost looks like an eagle's beak sticking out right here. That's going to be a little bit of a pocket for resistance, so I'll just map that one out as well. And again, we're just trying to find the easiest places for price action to want to go. Book a win. Book a win. All right, so this is the setup that I would be interested in here this morning on the NQ. Entry 24,271, TP1 24,283. We got 302 and 318, and depending on price action, I would probably be targeting. I like this TP2 area, to be honest with you. It's a big trade, but we're big boys. All right. And as far as the mechanical strategies, what you're looking at here is the 15-minute Rob reversal on the bottom side. This is a 100% rule-based, time-based mechanical strategy that I've back tested for over 3 years. Been trading this for over 3 years, and if you want any of these strategies, which are automated through NinjaTrader, just subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below that you want the strategies, and I'll make that available to you. At the top right, we've got our inside bar gold strategy that runs from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we've got on the left top part side of the chart is our oil inside bar strategy that has 2 sessions, one that runs from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and the second session that runs from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I am currently trading session number 2. So you will see all of those trades here as well. As far as the challenge, sorry, let me just bring the challenge up. My discretionary style trading is up $448. Did not take a trade yesterday. Again, I was really interested in that ES setup that never came to play. 90% win rate. I think we've taken a total of 7 trades on this on the discretionary side of the trades, with 6 winners, 1 loss. Pretty nice profit factor of 6.34. And here are all of the trades. So we had 4, 5, 6 winners, and this day we had 1 winner, 1 loser. As far as the mechanical rule-based strategies, this one is sitting negative $31 for the 11 days of the challenge, and down here are all of the results for those. We kind of had a shit show yesterday as far as the strategies. I explained that in my video yesterday, and I don't want to really rehash that because, again, I was pretty embarrassed yesterday of how my charts and everything were performing, but I think I've got that figured out. As you guys can see, the charts today were a lot smoother. All right, stick around. You'll see all of the trades. If we get closer to price action here to any of my setups, or if I find any new setups, you'll see me come back on, explain the setup, where I'm thinking about with my entry, TPs, stop loss, and you'll see the trades in action. See you guys in a little bit. All right, so a few developments here on the ES. As you guys remember, I mapped out a setup taking a long at the 66.78-ish area. A lot of orders are stacking up at the 66.80, which would seem to be a really easy rotation right back to TP1 at the 66.83. So if I get a confirmation candle here at the 66.80, might take this trade here. Possible re-entry at the 66.78. Could be a pretty nice trade setup here. The only issue is we're about a minute from the open, so kind of have to be careful with that one. Might have to skip this trade just based on volatility here at the open, but stick around. All right, got in this trade on the ES. Actually, on my original entry, got a confirmation candle I like. The only issue is I moved up my stop loss because super heavy with sellers right now. So not the greatest setup as of right now. Sellers are just super strong, so I just want to protect my capital here at all costs if I can. I was even willing to take it up to break even. Probably going to get stopped out here. Yep. So took about a $75 loss on that one. I think I was probably maybe a 1.5 of profit here, and I was really close to hitting my stop, my break even, just because of the fact how heavy sellers were. But in my opinion, very good setup. Let's see if this original stop loss would have worked out. That would maybe even bother me a little bit more, but we'll see here. Let's see what yeah, still just super heavy. There was a really nice protection at the 75. I should have looked at that on the book map before I moved my stop, but it is what it is sometimes. And I was targeting the 66.82, just an area that I saw in the chart that was very ripe for the market to want to go and rebalance. Let's sit here and just take a look and see what price action does here. Like I said, super heavy to the upside. I could see this still trying to sell off here. Let's see. typically will not re-enter. Okay, buyer's got. I would typically not re-enter in a trade once the setup, my original setup, excuse me, my thought process was not, if it doesn't get validated, it would have to take a very, very strong confirmation candle for me to jump back in a trade, and that's typically something I'm not super interested in. I'll just get rid of this so I don't have to be looking at that. If we don't see anything strong here in the next minute, I'll cut off and see if we can find maybe another setup here. Would bother me just a little bit, obviously, if this stop loss that I originally had would have holds up, because then I could obviously make a case for moving my stop up too early, which would be a trading mistake on my part that I would log definitely in my journal. But as of right now, nothing here yet that would make me, even though we got some strong buying candles, it's nothing yet here that would make me take a second entry here on this same setup. Original TP was up at 66.83, but got such a good entry at the 66.78 that the 82 area right here just seemed like it was a very, very easy spot to rebalance volume. But again, just still nothing that shows me. Let's see what. So they're still strong. They're bringing down every move from buyers. We are trading the December contract. So I did do my rollover this morning. Ooh, there you go. So that was a really nice, I guess it was a well-protected stop-loss move. So I wouldn't, even though I might have been able to squeak out maybe 1 3/4 on that trade, I would have definitely held out, considering that I was risking 4 points on this trade, and then I reduced it down to 3 points. I would have liked to have seen at least me getting 3 points out of the trade, so that protected me there for probably another 2 points of protection. So from here we'll see what else we can, what other setup we can spot, and I'll be back for the next trade. All right, so quick updates. Got a few setups here mapped out on the ES and the NQ. Looking at taking a short at this 88.84, 88.85 seems to be very well defended. Obviously you can see in the volume profile here that we're going into a bigger volume node, not obviously as big as this one here, but I'm just not able to find a good trade setup there. And then again, same concept with my take profits, just a kind of an easy free flow down to TP1, and then hopefully secure TP2 as well. You could also make a case for TP1 going up to the 81, which actually I think I will do, because that would give me about a 3 points right there on the ES, which I would be pretty happy with. And then I can keep this one right there. And then on the downside for a long, looking at the 66.55, again, another area that's pretty well defended. And on the NQ, we've got a setup here for a possible short at the 64.620 area of pretty high volume as well. Pretty easy on the TPs. Probably would be targeting TP2, which is only about a 10-point trade. Should be pretty easy before hitting a stop loss of 24.631. So we'll keep an eye on these. Stick around and see if we can take another setup here. All right, just kind of give a little update here. It's been an absolute snooze fest for the last almost 2.5 hours. We've stayed pretty much in about a 7-point range on the ES, which has been pretty disgusting. So I got to run to the airport. I got a flight to catch to go back down to Chicago, or I should say up to Chicago. And kind of stinks because we're not really even close to anything. I mean, we're closest to this ES trade, but we need to see a pretty strong pullback here. And I got about 15 more minutes before I got to go. So we'll see if this setup comes to play. If not, I'll be back at it tomorrow. Let's just take a look real quick. Took the one loss today. This is actually the mechanical strategy. Mechanical strategy today is down $50, and I'll show you guys those trades. And then as far as the discretionary, we took the one loss here today, so that account now sits at a positive $363. I think we took a $84 with commissions on that loss. And then as far as the mechanical strategies, we did take a win in oil session 2. We took a loser in gold, and nothing on the 15-minute Rob reversal, which runs for about another hour. So unless something comes up here in the next few minutes, you guys will see hopefully some winning setups tomorrow. Take care.